Hello, I'm going to do a quick video on how PriceLine was able to get an extra $600 from me in hidden fees. So really quick, I'm going to book my hotel, the Royal Atlantis. I'm going in March for 4 nights, right? And I select 2 adults and 2 children because I have 2 kids, 14 and 17 years old. So when I do that, it comes up with these rooms. All right, so here you can see the room and the fees. And if I, when you actually search, you can do a couple of pricing, which is kind of weird. I think it should always show total prices, but you can actually see it without the total prices. So if I click that, you'll see that it's 14.97, which is fine. That's before taxes and fees. But if you turn it on, and it shows all the fees, which is great because most people want to see everything they're going to pay for. They don't want to see it without the tax. I just want to see everything. So great. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click this, and when you hit book, it'll go through the process. And interesting here, it says prices include water park tickets. So yeah, I'm fine with the rate. It's everything's good. I booked it, and I got charged the amount they said, which is 2,200 and change. And so my cousin actually was going to join us, so I forwarded him our itinerary, and I noticed something unusual on the itinerary. Um, and let me show you what that is. On the itinerary, that this remember this after I paid, not before. So I have stipulation only after I booked and not before. So right here, I noticed the room max 2 guests. Hotel may charge for additional guests. That kind of threw me off guard, and I'm a very due diligence type of guy. And I called Atlantis, which is the resort. I called them and said, "How many people do you have on the reservation?" They said 2, and I said, "Okay." I told Priceline 2 children, and my thinking is, okay, well, I can just simply add them on. Not the case. And I said, okay, well, fine. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, most they're going to charge me is $25 a kid for the whole trip, or maybe most 50 for the whole trip. They said, well, each kid is going to be $75 per day. Um, so 2 kids, 4 days, that ultimately works out to $600. And when I heard that, my heart literally just sank. I was like, "What? That's a lot of money." But anyways, and I told them the whole thing. Hey, this is. I told Priceline 2 adults, 2 children, and they said no. It came over as two. You need to work it out with Priceline. Okay. So I called Priceline, and they were also confused. Their agents, I will tell you, Priceline has very good agents. And they were very friendly for the most part. I haven't run into one that was very combative because I kind of, a lot of times you get into situations, it can be a little bit, they're prepared to defend themselves. But no, they looked into this, and their own agent and managers were also confused. They also thought that it was this ticket, uh, water park tickets was the issue, but that turned out not to be the case. And I went through the fine print, um, and it says this. This is where I think it is. I think this is where the charges come in. Children ages 12 to 17 pay $50 per night plus daily mandatory fees. Okay, so that's one thing. That just only applies to my kids. And then there's this other section where $7 per night, 12 and older for regular rooms. This is gratuity, so they're going to tack on another $7 per person. So times four, me and my wife and my kids, they're going to tackle that on as well. Um, so my problem, why this is a hidden fee, right? I'm going to show you one other area where the fees are actually, well, this is actually stated. That's also misleading. Um, if you go into, let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, here we go. Okay, child policy, room options. So this is at the top of the the selection that you made. It says child policy, children of all ages are allowed. Okay, great. You're like, okay, well, you're good. My kids are 14 and 17. I don't need to read this, right? They're all allowed. I'm going to click on it and show you where this fee is mentioned. Here it is again, right there. Children from 12 to 17-year-old stay for $50 per person. Okay, why does this not say children of all ages are allowed and here are the fees, right? I'm not going to click on this because I'm assuming I'm good. Why would I click this? I'm good. Children of all ages are allowed. Why in the world would anybody click this, right? Assume, how can anybody know that the fees are listed here, right? This is not what this title says. It's very misleading, very misleading. Anyway, this should have covered me. This is why I consider this a hidden fee. And what they're doing is, in my belief, illegal because there are recent laws about this, and you can read up more about that on my descriptions. I won't get into that for the short video, but for 4 nights includes taxes and fees. They know the fees. They even told me the fees on the website. They know it. So why would they not include it right here, right? Well, the obvious reason is so they can show up on Google as the lowest fare, right? That's why they're doing it. And I think it's just totally wrong. It's totally deceptive. Um, it puts people in a bind. Had I had a family on a tight budget showed up planning $600 for food, now they got to allocate that money to this, and what do they eat? I'm sure, their families have been through this buying and not have enough credit limit on their credit card to charge the extra 600 in fees. I'm sure that has happened. So anyway, Priceline, shame on you. Totally disappointed. I was so loyal to Priceline before this, and I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know how much revenue they actually make more. They're such a big company. It just seems very odd. And, they don't think about their branding anymore. Because now when I buy a flight or a hotel, I'm always paranoid. What else they're going to get me this time? So now I'm paranoid. And, uh, there are other companies that Priceline owns. They own Booking.com. They own Kayak. And I'm more mindful of those websites now when I go visit it. But anyway, totally wrong. I hope they update this to really include all the fees, right? And this is totally false advertising. This would land, in my view, bait and switch, right? So they're bouncing accountability off of the hotel, which is ridiculous. Because they know the fees. They already know, they even list it. Again, they list it. So they're bouncing the problem downstream to the hotels. Totally wrong. I don't think that the hotels are colluding with them. I just think this is something Priceline is doing. Okay. Thank you for watching my video.